In a vast, enchanting forest, where the trees reached high into the sky and the rivers sparkled under the sun, lived a curious young bear named Benny. Benny had a heart as big as the forest and a love for adventure that was even bigger. Every morning, Benny would wake up to the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. He would stretch his furry arms, yawn a big bear yawn, and head out to explore the wonders of his home. Today was no different, but Benny had a feeling that this day would be special. As Benny strolled through the forest, he came across his friend, Sammy the squirrel. Sammy was busy gathering acorns for the winter. "Good morning, Sammy," Benny called out. "What are you up to today?" "Good morning, Benny," Sammy replied with a smile. "I'm just collecting acorns. Winter is coming, you know." Benny nodded. "Do you want to come on an adventure with me today?" Sammy's eyes lit up. "An adventure? Where to?" Benny shrugged. "I don't know yet. That's what makes it an adventure." The two friends set off together, their hearts filled with excitement. They wandered through the forest, past the tall oak trees and the bubbling nap. As they walked, they met many of their friends. There was Tilly the turtle, basking in the sun, and Olivia the owl, who hooted a friendly greeting from her perch high in a tree. After a while, Benny and Sammy reached a part of the forest they had never seen before. It was dark and mysterious, with thick vines hanging from the trees and strange sounds echoing all around. "This looks like a real adventure," Sammy whispered, his eyes wide with wonder. Benny nodded. "Let's be brave and explore." As they ventured deeper into the mysterious forest, they stumbled upon a beautiful clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient tree, its branches stretching out like arms welcoming them. "This tree must be very old," Benny said, admiring its grandeur. Sammy nodded. "I wonder what stories it could tell." Just then, they heard a soft voice. "Hello, little ones." Benny and Sammy looked around, but they couldn't see anyone. "Up here," the voice said gently. They looked up and saw a wise old owl perched on one of the branches. His feathers were as white as snow, and his eyes sparkled like stars. "Who are you?" Benny asked, fascinated. "I am Orion, the guardian of this ancient tree," the owl replied. "This tree holds many secrets and stories from long ago." Benny's eyes widened with excitement. "Can you tell us one of the stories?" Orion nodded. "Of course. Sit down and listen carefully." Benny and Sammy sat down at the foot of the tree, their ears perked up in anticipation. Orion began to tell them a story about a time when the forest was in danger and how a brave bear, much like Benny, had saved it. "Many years ago," Orion started, "a terrible storm threatened to destroy this forest. The winds howled and the rain poured down, flooding the rivers and knocking down the trees. The animals were frightened and didn't know what to do." Benny and Sammy listened intently, imagining the terrifying storm. But then, Orion continued, a brave bear named Bruno stepped forward. He wasn't the biggest or the strongest bear, but he had a heart full of courage. Bruno knew that the only way to save the forest was to find the magical stone hidden deep within the mountains. This stone had the power to calm the storm and restore peace. Benny's eyes sparkled with admiration. What happened next? Bruno set off on a dangerous journey, Orion said. He climbed the tallest mountains, crossed the widest rivers and faced many challenges along the way. But he never gave up. With determination and bravery, he finally found the magical stone. Bruno brought it back to the forest and placed it at the base of this very tree. The storm calmed and the forest was saved. Benny and Sammy were in awe. "Wow, Bruno was amazing," Sammy exclaimed. Orion nodded. "He was, and you, Benny, have that same bravery within you." Benny smiled, feeling proud. "Thank you, Orion. I hope I can be as brave as Bruno someday." "You already are," Orion replied with a twinkle in his eye. "Remember, bravery is not about being fearless. It's about facing your fears and doing what's right." Benny and Sammy thanked Orion for the wonderful story and promised to visit him again. As they made their way back home, they couldn't stop talking about Bruno's bravery.